Like Splinter Cell and Metal Gear Substance, 13 assumes you're pretty damn good at games, as it takes a true master of stealth to survive this cel-shaded action-adventure. The story slowly unravels, revealing a sinister plot and plenty of adult-orientated action, where back-of-the-neck knife kills, neck breaks and telescopic sniping are the key to staying alive. And for extra fun, 4 players will be able to infiltrate each other's houses via live deathmatch link-up. We can't wait. 1963 saw the first appearance of the now cult classic, The Great Escape. It featured the largest mass breakout ever, with crafty soldiers fleeing from the escape-proof Stalag Luft prisoner of war camp. And now this ever-popular masterpiece is coming to Xbox. Unsurprisingly, there are going to be many comparisons to the recent Prisoner of War title, which also took inspiration from this movie genre. But The Great Escape focuses strongly on the powerful storyline and strong characters from the film, casting you into the heart of the action you've seen so many times at Christmas. Your team consists of all your favourite escapees, all reproduced in their familiar likenesses, and each boasting unique skills that you'll need in order to successfully orchestrate your daring breakout. The gameplay varies as you progress through the story. At some stages, you'll have to use stealth and cunning to garner information and materials you'll need later, as well as gaining access to new areas. In some stages, you'll get the chance to make use of vehicles, with a number of machines available for commandeering. And there's even an action sequence on a moving train. And of course, you'll have your chance to take part in that final awesome motorbike finale. Knowledge of the movie doesn't guarantee you a way out, and it's in this way that The Great Escape promises to appeal to both movie and game fans alike. Despite its beautiful graphics and impressive AI, Nude is likely to grab more attention simply because of its name. But since the acronym stands for Natural Ultimate Digital Experiment, this may not be quite the title you thought it was going to be. The aim of the game is to nurture a newly created robot lifeform, teaching it how to communicate, behave, and display emotions. The fact that this robot comes in the form of a beautiful young woman doesn't hurt, of course. But then what else would you expect from the heart of Japan? The girl's name is Pass, which is short for Personal Assistant Secretary System, and not quite as beautiful as her looks. Pass begins the game as a completely blank slate. In order to begin her education, you speak words into the Xbox's voice communicator, and at least initially, she'll repeat them back to you. As she evolves, Pass will develop more of her own conversation, emotion, and mannerisms, until she reaches the point where she can finally fit in and appear totally human. Her behavior is dependent on how you raise her, allowing you to experiment with different methods in order to create a whole range of personalities entirely unique to your own game. Nude is like a super advanced, good-looking Tamagotchi pet, with the ultimate goal of creating a highly developed artificial intelligence. The only question remaining is, when will you eventually get round to teaching her things she really needs to know, rather than just trying to get her to talk dirty to you?
Fortune and glory, here I come.
If you think Time Team is the be-all and end-all of archaeology, then you're sadly mistaken. Forget Tony Robinson. This is where the real discoveries are made. Swinging through lost temples, fighting evil Nazis, and uncovering ancient and powerful artifacts. That's what it's all about with Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. Featuring a completely original storyline with a host of new villains and monsters, the adventure begins in 1935, with Dr. Jones setting out to prevent a powerful Chinese artifact from falling into evil hands. This globe-spanning journey pits our fearless hero against evil Nazis and the Asian underworld, as well as introducing him to a mysterious and alluring ally, Mei Ying.
There he is!
In all, there are 50 levels to explore, all packed full of deadly traps and hostile terrain. Indy has to leap, swim, climb and punch his way through exotic locales ranging from the jungles of Ceylon and the underwater palaces of Istanbul to the deadly streets of Hong Kong and beyond.
Looks like somebody's been overfeeding the fish. If I don't get that monster out of the way, this is going to be a real short swing.
The fierce fighting action this time includes a lot of hand-to-hand combat, ranging from street brawls to full-scale martial arts battles. Of course, you'll still have plenty of chances to use Indy's trademark whip and pistol, but there's also lots of other hardware, such as shotguns, submachine guns, and a host of improvised weapons. The cutscenes provide an astute representation of Dr. Jones, and the atmosphere of the entire game is just quintessentially Indy. Add to this the opportunity to be Indiana Jones in such an awesome adventure, and you have probably the greatest Tomb Raider-style game since, well, Tomb Raider.
I think someone just stepped on my grave.
Well, what do you want us to say? You can't help but have heard of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball by now. Take the 7 beautiful girls from the DOA series, plus one newcomer, and send them to a tropical island to play beach volleyball for 2 weeks. That just about says it all. You don't need us to tell you how spectacular the graphics are, you can see them for yourself. The character models are some of the best yet seen, and the animation is fluid and well coordinated. But if the game were just that, then things would get boring really quickly, wouldn't they? No? Well, they might. So what about the volleyball? Can you find any suitable excuses to buy the game? The volleyball is actually surprisingly good. You play as one of the girls and must coordinate with your partner in order to win matches. To do this, you only have 2 controls, receive and attack. But the location of you and your partner at the moment you make the move determines what action actually occurs. In other words, timing and positioning are critical to scoring points. The other critical aspect is the relationships between all the players. Rivalries run deep with these girls. Well, they have been kicking 7 bells out of each other for years, so getting them to cooperate in the game is crucial to your success. Teams that have forged strong friendships and cooperate for some time are more coordinated and devastating than those that are newly formed or contentious. In order to keep your partner sweet, you'll need to buy her gifts. You can earn money by winning matches or gambling in the casino, then spend it in a variety of shops. Day is composed of a morning, afternoon and evening, with each period being a time for volleyball, relationship building or relaxing with various other activities. You'll have to learn to manage your time properly in order to forge the most successful volleyball team. The need to maintain relationships with all the girls in order to win at the volleyball really adds an interesting element to the sport, and equally the fact that you can see a definite result to your labours makes maintaining the relationships more entertaining. Combine this with a decent casino element and even an entertaining 2-player game, and you have a surprisingly good reason to buy this, as if you really needed one. There's an old wives' tale that states a camera is capable of stealing a person's soul. A load of old codswallop if you ask us. But if it was true, then imagine how devastating that might be to a spirit. Project Zero takes this idea and weaves an impressively effective ghost story around it. You play Miku Hinusaki, a girl who's sensitive to psychic phenomena, searching for her lost brother, Mafuyu. Last seen entering a haunted mansion after a horror author and his team disappeared there sometime previously. Upon entering the house, Miku suffers a disturbing vision in which the ghost of a strange woman captures her brother. From this point on, things just get eerier. Despite the dire warnings of dark rituals and dismembered sacrifices, the dauntless Miku heads inside and finds herself in an impressively atmospheric mansion, packed full of ghostly goings-on. Her adventure is panned out through an enthralling storyline, told in a series of spooky black and white cutscenes. For the most part, the action consists of collecting clues from around the various rooms and using them to solve puzzles and advance through the mansion. However, a lot of the clues are just psychic impressions, which Miku can sense, but only really show up when you point the camera at them. It's an interesting concept, and it actually works rather well, with the Japanese setting providing a particularly alien twist to the proceedings. Of course, the other things the camera shows up are the ghosts. These malevolent phantoms come in all shapes and sizes, flitting in and out of phase and all intent on chewing your face off. A quick snap with the camera is enough to harm them, and you can get in close and charge the flash up for a particularly powerful psychic assault that will send them spiraling back to hell. Just pray you don't run out of film. It's a novel twist on the survival horror genre, and the smooth control system, intense and disturbing storyline, and drama-filled encounters create a wonderful atmosphere, doing an impressive job of scaring you silly. V-Rally 3 cranks up the already impressive selection of Xbox rallying games, but can it really compete against the likes of Rally Sport Challenge and Colin McRae? The first thing in V-Rally 3's favour is the single-player career mode, which drops you into your own office with a desk and a computer and allows you to negotiate with a number of big-name teams with a view to racing on their behalf.
3 left, 3 right. 100.
Select a decent manufacturer and you're a mere time trial away from lining up in the underpowered 1.6L Championship and convincing your employees that you're responsible enough to handle the lineup of growling 2-litre beauties, including the curvaceous Subaru Impreza 2001 and the beautifully modelled Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 7. These highly tuned machines are feisty to say the least. The handling is oversensitive, and once you're off the ground, the physics are simply not right. There's little or no sense of feedback given from the different types of road surface, and you'll soon discover that crashes can be disastrous for all the wrong reasons. Windscreens crack and shatter in a pleasing enough fashion, bumpers peel away, and wheels even fall off when your ride quivers to destruction. But this all adds up to a serious repair time between stages. Like all good rally games, you can dive under the bonnet and tweak and tune to the nth degree, altering the tyre type, brake balance and the gear setups. And while these options should keep die-hard fiddlers happy, the default setup works just fine for those who really can't be bothered.
100, 2 right, clear crest. Flat lane. 3 right.
Graphics Basically, V-Rally is very average. The car's models look nice enough and the weather effects are effective, but the course furniture doesn't really feel solid enough and the replays could be smoother. If you've sucked all the life from Rally Sport Challenge and Colin McRae 3, you might consider V-Rally 3. But no matter how appetizing the 25 moderately challenging stages may appear, it's too simplistic, doesn't look pretty enough, and there's no online play. It can be fun, but only in the very short term. Shenmue 2 is the second title in what was originally planned to be a series of 4 games. This story picks up where the original left off, but just in case you didn't play the first game on Dreamcast, there's a movie included that brings you up to speed on the pertinent points of the plot. Designed as an epic adventure with all the elements of a great movie, such as drama, mystery, suspense and action, the tale follows the trials and tribulations of Ryo Hazuki, a young man dedicated to the task of tracking down his father's murderer and unlocking the mysteries of the Phoenix Mirror.
Watch where you're going, punk!
This path has led him from his homeland Japan to the bustling cosmopolitan city of Hong Kong. Hong Kong has been presented here as a fully immersive city, with streets filled with interactive characters. Day gradually turns to night, clouds move across the sky and sunshine changes to rain as people go about their daily business. And you have complete freedom to live within the city, working, sleeping and walking the streets, as well as fighting, gambling and engaging in many other activities.
Gee! What the? Whoa!
The fighting system is probably the most highly developed yet for a non-fighting game, including over 50 punches, kicks, hold and combos. But this isn't very surprising when you consider that this solid 3D fighting system was created by the same group that developed Virtua Fighter. While there are many great qualities to Shenmue 2, this seamless blend of action, adventure, fighting and RPG still has some flaws. For instance, if you haven't played before, then you'll have to pick things up quickly, as there's only the most rudimentary of introductions to the game system. There's also the nagging feeling that not much has been upgraded since its original incarnation on Dreamcast, leaving it feeling a little old-fashioned. But despite this, the staggering presentation and the astonishing vision of creator Yu Suzuki lifts it into the realms of the unique.
Hang on!
'70s Kung Fu. You either love it or hate it. And while a multiplayer party game based on this genre sounds like quality entertainment, Kung Fu Chaos will ultimately have Bruce Lee spinning in his grave. You take on the role of one of 9 cartoon characters with suitably daft names, such as Lucy Cannon and Master Shou Yu. The cast must fight its way through various action-packed scenes, dishing out death to ninjas of varying strength while slinging boxes around in a typically Power Stone manner. The controls are pretty simplistic. X and Y attack heavily and lightly, B grabs, A jumps, the right trigger blocks and the left trigger taunts. There are a few basic combos to perform, but these are little more than 2 to 4 button presses.
way of the cat. Each move must flow into the next.
Throwing together button combinations creates a hit chain, leaving your opponent floored and affording you the opportunity to mouth off with verbal taunts. Repeating this pattern lends your character the ability to unleash a super attack, capable of ending your opponent's life super quick. Each stage rolls along in a jolly fashion, like get yourself caught at the back of the screen and you lose a life. Make it to the end alive and you unlock the next scene. And that's about all there is.
Camera! Action!
While single player provides acceptable amounts of entertainment, it's in multiplayer that Kung Fu Chaos surprisingly falls down. Opponent deaths are random and frequent, and lack of depth in control makes the game ridiculously easy. Overall, it looks pretty enough and there are some reasonably nice ideas, but Kung Fu Chaos is ultimately a shabby affair, and die-hard fight fans should avoid it like the plague. In terms of playability, Vex really isn't that bad. The levels are pleasing enough and pretty well designed, based around a series of theme parks covering a variety of platforming themes. Our eponymous hero Vex is after magical hearts, glowing organs of energy that are used to power up a trans-dimensional warp device. And for reasons best left unknown, these hearts have been scattered across 9 huge levels, cunningly hidden behind numerous puzzles and enemies. There's an agreeable assortment of styles to play across too, and some neat little touches that really go a long way in enhancing the overall appeal. For example, each level has a day-night cycle that subtly changes the behaviour of the inhabitants within. Find a sundial, however, and you'll be able to hop on and change the time. Very useful for opening up time-dependent gateways that lead to yet more challenging sub-levels. And like any platform hero worth his salt, Vex can climb, swim, and hang from ledges too, thanks to his handy gauntlets. Best of all though is a selection of combat moves ranging from simple punch combos to flying kicks and ground pounds. The camera system is as unreliable as it always is in platform games, but at least you have complete control over it when it wanders off. And for such a vertical game, Vex can't jump very far without a shoulder button being held down in a rather awkward super jump maneuver. Whilst Vex does little new, it's still a nice playable outing. The worlds are nice and big, there are lots of nice quests too, and the whole thing is, well, nice really, and that's as far as it goes. It's hardly a brand new recipe, but one that nevertheless passes away the time without being overly annoying. Within Jaeger's late 21st century world, you play as freelance fighter Magnus Tide, a whiny American pilot who He's been hired by a government mega corporation to do some serious investigation. For the most part, Jaeger drops you in the cockpit of Tide's aircraft. You can hover, you can fly, you can even jet about the place for those speedier moments when you really need to get the hell out of Dodge.
From time to time, these things are happening. No time for things. Just keep quiet.
It all feels very Top Gun, and Tide's annoying chit-chat and atrocious one-liners only serve to hammer this point home even further.
Kaboom! That's the way.
Virtually all of the gameplay is mission-based. Fly over here to flush out some aliens, then head back to base to protect it from further attackers.
Хорошо. Now forward. On we go.
Time to put the light out.
The occasional turret-based scenario adds further variety, although the on-rail sections can prove awkward at times with obscured viewpoints and sluggish controls.
I'm going for the roof.
Weapons appear by picking stuff up and being given them at scripted points as you complete various objectives.
Better keep an eye on the Carthago as well. Their fighters are outnumbered.
Missiles, high-powered machine guns and sniper rifles are all available, most of which are dual function too.
Brenna, that you? I can hardly hear you. Bad trams round here. I've made it, but what price had Karpov paid?
Right from the start, Jaeger treats us to a sumptuous display, and not since Halo has such skill been applied to creating such a beautiful series of backdrops. You'll get to take in sun-drenched coastal regions, high-tech cities and vast industrial rail networks, each heavily defended by pirates, mercenaries and wrongdoing military types. And there's no squad-based tomfoolery like Jedi Starfighter, just one huge fracas where it's every man for himself.
Magnus, you've got your mission.
Easy peasy. Find a way into the DST airbase, park the bomber, escape with my own ship.
Magnus, be careful.
It's a solid shooter overall, with an intriguing plot and top-notch graphics, but Jaeger's badly flawed by control problems. Every button has been utilised, and all too often you need both sticks while
And
constantly using the primary buttons to change weapon, use alternate weapon mode and zoom. There's also no multiplayer game either, so it floats in second behind Battle Engine Aquila in the flight combat stakes.
Hey everyone, freighter down. I repeat, the freighter is down. It's now sleeping with the fishes.
I'm Live D. Yes, the same sexy babe who hired you. But I'm also the commander of this base.
Crimson Sea offers superior action. You take on the role of Sho, a skint mercenary who's given shed loads of cash by a mysterious, sexy woman to recover an item from a perilous underground lair. After which, you're elevated to the rank of IAG agent and sent to planet Grav to stamp out millions of giant cockroaches and a variety of flying insects. You have a sidekick to keep you company, a young girl called Shokin, who's quite nifty with a laser pistol. just as well, considering Crimson Sea's plot is an excuse for you and team members of G-Squad to be pummeled by an inconceivable amount of alien enemies through various city-based missions. Take the first half hour of play, for instance. You size up against 2 substantial bosses and a variety of large, hairy, armored things using only guns and a sword.
Wow! What's happening, Anakin? How am I doing this?
But that's only a taste of what to expect, and from here on, the action becomes ludicrously overpowered. You may have noticed the overt visual homage to PS2's Final Fantasy X. With the style of Crimson Sea's play, there's no resemblance whatsoever to Square's staid role-player. The game also boasts a phantom sensor system. Sounds a bit flash, but ultimately it's nothing more than a fancy radar device, incorporating audio, visual, and tactile stimuli to help you sniff out the elusive shape-shifting aliens that can blend into large crowds of people. The cutscenes are funny enough too, and fantastically well made. And overall, Crimson Sea displays a true greatness, even if it is somewhat repetitive. Highly recommended.
Yankoy. Come in. Come in, Yankoy. What's going on?
You're stinking up my town.
The Evil Dead movies are perhaps our all-time most cherished horror flicks, comedy and horror all rolled into one. Oh, how we laughed as Ash and his beat-up Chevy were sucked into a spiraling vortex and warped back through time to face more Evil Dead horrors. Fistful of Boomstick sees the Book of the Dead falling into the wrong hands, with Ash battling to close time-warping vortices equipped with his trusty shotgun and chainsaw. The latter allows you to perform a rather cool slice-and-dice maneuver on your enemies, while the shotgun deals death with a handy over-the-shoulder blast. Groovy. So far, the graphics are shaping up nicely, with detailed character modeling and smooth animation sequences. And who knows, this could actually be worth playing, but only if you have a strong stomach. We'll let you know soon enough. RPGs are one of the cornerstones of any successful console, such as the ever-popular Final Fantasy series on PS2. But up till now, Xbox has been looking a bit devoid of decent heavyweights in the genre. Enter Sudekai. This awesome-looking adventure brings all the excitement, imagination and style that makes Japanese RPGs so popular the world over, but with the added advantage of being developed in Britain. So you never know, the story might just make sense. While the plot remains a mystery, you can be assured that it'll be filled with deceit, betrayal, and other deep and meaningful pathos. There are 4 main characters: a beautiful and deadly sorceress, a steampunk gunslinger, a powerful swordsman, and a shape-shifting huntress, along with the promise of a few extra secret characters as well. Each of them has their own array of spells, attacks, and special powers, which evolve as the game progresses. The combat comes in real time and features Hong Kong-style cinematic sequences. There are dozens of moves, slow-motion bullet time, earth-shattering spells, and hundreds of destructive melee and ranged weapons. Our heroes also have the ability to combine their powers with one another in order to provide some completely over-the-top spectacular superpowers. The world of Sudekai is huge, and you can freely roam throughout the beautiful and varied locations. There are hundreds of NPCs to deal with, as well as over 100 enemies of varying shapes and sizes. And the detail of it all is fantastic. Just look at the precise facial animations on the character models, the complex lighting, and the sheer awesome scale of it all. It's early days yet for Sudekai, but all the signs so far suggest that it's gonna be one of the great titles come the end of the year. Definitely something to watch out for. As Episode 2 drew to a close, Jedi Master Yoda announced the beginning of the Clone Wars. Now Star Wars: The Clone Wars gives you the chance to pick up where the movie left off and play a crucial role in this epic conflict.
Mace Windu to all Jedi fighters. We are on final approach to Geonosis.
Playing as Anakin Skywalker, Mace Windu or Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's your job to leap into the cockpit and lead the Republic Army on a campaign to stop the Separatists from reassembling the ancient Sith weapon of mass annihilation.
I'll meet you there.
Sir, we've done it. All the Techno-Union ships have been destroyed.
There are 5 vehicles available to our heroes, including a Republic gunship, speeder bike, fighter tank, assault walker, and even a Maru. But opposing you, the enemy have over 30 different units. That may sound a little unfair, but you'll soon find that you have more than enough firepower to even those odds. There are 16 single-player missions set across 6 expansive worlds from throughout the Star Wars universe. Each of these missions features 2 or 3 primary objectives and range in content from intense close combat engagements to enormous large-scale battles. Alternatively, there are also 4 distinct multiplayer modes. You can prove your worth in team-based strategy, deathmatch, King of the Hill, and cooperative endurance modes. And you can be sure that Clone Wars is going to be making the most of the Xbox technology, standing above the other consoles with improved bump mapping and self-shadowing, as well as using a higher frame rate and increased poly count to provide many units with greater detail. But the real difference comes with the application of Xbox Live. The live gameplay features an additional 10 maps and allows 8 players to compete and cooperate with one another from around the world. You can communicate with other players using the voice chat system and strive to become a ranked player and earn yourself a variety of medals. There's also the option to play through the Conquest mode and earn yourself an array of new exclusive weapons and commands.
Get to that outpost soon. The enemy will overrun the area. Sir, we need you to clear the area of all enemies before we can land.
We've suffered many disappointments from the Star Wars franchise in the past, but the Clone Wars could well mark a change in this trend. Let's just hope that the Force is strong in this one. THQ brings the great MotoGP biking game up to date for Xbox fans, but sadly, that's as far as it goes. Before you get too excited, this is by no means a radical makeover, and the changes are very small all round. What you get here is the full 16 tracks of the 2002 season, as opposed to the original's 10 and the 22 riders who contested the season. Thankfully, there's the new Power Slide sensitivity option for added realism too. A quick double tap of the accelerator spins your rear out as before, only now you can tweak the level of kick to your liking, and the improved, more dynamic crashes also add to the feeling of danger. Just one slightly overcooked bend will soon see your rider collapsing in various unconvincing ways. And if you want to avoid these, which really is the point after all, you'll need to develop an intimate knowledge of each of the tracks, challenging certainly, and highly rewarding once you've mastered the art. But it's the out-of-the-box inclusion of live racing that makes MotoGP 2 very special indeed. A simple text option on the race start screen allows you to toggle between local or live events. The live play now cancels the times of people who take illegal shortcuts, lessens the effect of accidental collisions, and ghostifies rogue players who make an arse of themselves by racing around courses the wrong way. MotoGP 2 is largely identical to its prequel, with only the extra tracks and a marginal amount of tinkering to discern it. Not necessarily a bad thing, but whether it's worth the asking price remains to be seen. We'll have our full review soon enough. Takes you to the world of Proteus, where the very surface consists of an organic substance called multiplast, or simply plast. This important substance can be transformed into all sorts of biomachines by the psychic talents of the Shapers, and here you play Nevin, one such Shaper. Has another gift, the power of time dilation, and it's for this reason that he's chosen to help out when a rogue shaper named Carbo creates a new form of self-aware blast called Xenoblast. The problem being that this material doesn't want to be abused by mankind and is creating hordes of minions to protect itself. Nevin's shaping powers allow him to quickly switch between three forms: a fast and lethal melee mode, the gun mode's walking tank, and the agile and cunning stealth mode. Beyond this, his time dilation talent allows him to hold time long enough to establish a chain of actions which can then be unleashed in a devastating combo when time snaps back again. An awesome ability, until you face opponents with the same power. Xbox shares an ancestry with PC hardware, it's a simple matter to port some of the vast games market onto our new console. One of the first up for a new look is a new title from the Midtown Madness series. Midtown Madness 3 treats us to improved graphics, thrilling gameplay and 2 fantastic online game modes. The gameplay is pretty simple stuff. Race the car of your choice from A to B while staying ahead of your opponents and within the time limit. Hardly rocket science, but it's stupendous fun. The storyline, voiceovers, and generally reckless antics all help to create a stylish atmosphere, and combined with graphics displaying more life and energy than any previous title in the series, it all makes for a great game. 2 cities have been fully and realistically modelled to provide you with an entertaining navigational challenge. Both Paris and Washington DC are looking great, and these huge maps are home to 54 different missions, comprising a wide variety of styles. The action may not be quite so fast as other titles, but since the focus is on negotiating civilian traffic, you're unlikely to notice it too much. That is, until you hit the wide open roads, at which point it may disappoint a little, especially compared to upcoming speed demons like Burnout 2. But the big selling points for Midtown Madness 3 are the online features. There are 2 online game modes, Capture the Gold, which sees 2 teams chasing each other to gain the cash, and Hunter, a tag game around the city of your choice. With the last man on tag, proclaim the winner. You can even define your own races, marking both the start and finish locations yourself. The multiplayer options allow for up to 8 players from around the world, although you may want to be wary of anyone hailing from Paris or Washington if you know what's good for you. The other online feature we're promised is the chance to download further content once the game is released. This could come in the form of new vehicles and missions, and if we're really well behaved, we might even get some new cities. With an entertaining single-player mode and the huge draw of the online racing, Midtown Madness 3 could well be the most addictive driving experience since Mario Kart. Watch out for the upcoming review for the complete lowdown. World Championship Snooker 2003 is on its way, boasting a complex AI system that makes use of neural network techniques, an enhanced visual engine, and improved game physics, which all means that we should be in for the most realistic and challenging game.
Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold.
The Dreamcast fighting extravaganza Soul Calibur was generally considered to be one of the best fighting games of its time, with a swath of innovative ideas and a varied cast of characters, each with their own distinctive style. Now these qualities are 10 a penny, and the sequel is coming out on all 3 major consoles. So with such a noble heritage, Soul Calibur 2 certainly has a lot to live up to. There is a lot that will be familiar to fans of the original game, so this sequel may not be quite as revolutionary as its predecessor, but it still brings a fair share of progress. The new innovations include an expanded arena design with varied shapes and partial enclosures around some stages. These walls can be used to stun opponents and as a means to outmaneuver the opposition.
Knockout!
The guard impact move has been simplified to 2 directions rather than the original 4, and there's been significant expansion in the guard break attacks. While they still employ the familiar soul charge system, there are now 3 levels of charging, with only the highest level providing unblockable attacks, while the other 2 only produce counter hits. The story is the familiar search for the sword, Soul Edge. Destroyed at the end of the previous game, fragments of the blade have appeared throughout the world, causing the majority of the cast to pick up the arms once again and rejoin the fray with all their varied motives. While Hwang and Sophie Shio both leave the stage of history due to their conclusive story arcs, there are 4 new characters joining the crew. Hong Young-sung and Cassandra Alexandra neatly replace the 2 absentees, while the roguish nobleman Raphael Sorel and the last priestess of the wind, Kalin, each bring a new style to the mix. Besides the 13 main characters, there are numerous hidden fighters as well, and one of these is distinct to each console. The exclusive guest star set to debut on our version is Todd McFarlane's famous comic character Spawn, undoubtedly the best deal of the 3. Bringing all the strength of the original game, but now powered by the might of Xbox technology and streamlined for an even better fighting experience, Soul Calibur 2 looks set to win the hearts of hardcore fighting fans and newcomers alike.
Welcome to the new stage of history. Fight!
After his climactic battle at the end of the original game, Nightmare awoke to the memory of his past. Racked with guilt, but once again the honourable knight known as Siegfried, he travelled far away from civilization as Soul Edge fell apart in his hands. But as the sword's power regrew, so too did its power over him. Now Nightmare once more, the need to reforge the sword burns strongly within him again. Nightmare doesn't so much use a fighting school as simply channeling Soul Edge's power. The sword's tremendous reach and sheer strength provide most of the advantages to this style, but fans will also recognise the majority of his original moves, along with almost all of Siegfried's techniques as well.
Welcome to the new stage.
Since Sophie Shio settled down to raise a family, her younger sister Cassandra Alexandra has become the new bearer of the Omega Sword and Nemi Shield. So when Sophie Shio's husband discovered a fragment of Soul Edge, it fell to Cassandra to seek the advice of the gods and set forth once more to destroy the blade. Like her sister, Cassandra is a skilled proponent of the Athenian-style fighting school. She wields the same sword and shield, and lots of her moves will be very familiar to fans of the Greek heroine. And once more, the Nemi Shield serves well in both defense and as a surprise offense for those who don't pay attention.
Win. Welcome to the new.
Hong Young-sung studied martial arts at the same school as Hwang Sung-kyung, but his hopes of challenging and defeating that skilled warrior were thwarted. Now he wants to earn fame and respect by completing Hwang's quest and claiming the Sword of Salvation, better known as Soul Edge. Youngsung has trained in the Seong-style longsword school and takes the place of Hwang in the new lineup. His nimble moves easily compensate for his small stature, giving his lightning-fast sword an impressive reach and the opportunity to land plenty of ferocious strikes against the opposition.
Welcome. Fight!
Talon is the last priestess of the wind, an honoured position amongst her people, hidden in a secret valley in Southeast Asia. But her life of religious seclusion was shattered when Soul Edge's fragments scattered themselves across the world. And against her people's wishes, she set out to gather those pieces together and destroy their power once and for all. Talon practices the Wind-style school of fighting, a variation that features plenty of acrobatic flair, and she can use this edge to counter the speed and ferocity of other opponents. And although her short blades may have a limited range, they're still perfectly capable of delivering both fast and crippling strikes.
You win! Welcome to the new... Fight!
Raphael Sorel is an idealistic French nobleman whose choices have led him from noted peerage to refugee and rogue. Now he has a fanatical ambition to eliminate the warring upper classes that have turned France into a battleground, and he believes that Soul Edge has the power to make this happen. Raphael uses La Rapier de Sorel school of swordsmanship, and he even looks the quintessential swashbuckling scoundrel. His rapier is more than capable of delivering a barrage of piercing attacks, and these moves are nicely complemented with an assortment of fiendish snap kicks, stylish and deadly.
Welcome to the... Fight!
After the destruction of Soul Edge, Kinnick was finally able to settle down to a life of quiet contemplation. But after 4 years, he sensed the presence of the sword's evil once more. He now intends to collect the fragments of the blade and nullify its power by absorbing their energy into his staff. As a student of the Ling Shen Su-style Rod School of Combat, Killick has access to an impressive array of long-range rapid attacks. Combine these surprisingly damaging attacks with his new acrobatic moves, and this star fighter can prove to be an extremely dangerous opponent.
Welcome to the... Fight!
Following his climactic battle with Astaroth and subsequent paralysis, Maxi soon adapted to a more peaceful lifestyle. But rumours of the Golem's resurrection have rekindled the passion within him. Allowing himself to be healed by a mysterious fragment of metal, he's embarked once more on his personal vendetta. Maxi is a proponent of the Shisen Karihadi school of combat, wielding stylish nunchaku and impersonating Elvis. His repertoire has increased impressively since his last outing, providing plenty of dodge attack moves which make him especially deadly against opponents relying heavily on vertical strikes. And this evasive prowess combined with his long-range attacks would make him an impossible target if it weren't for his over-aggressive nature.
Welcome to the new
Astaroth is an artificial creation, a golem who once died and has since been returned to a semblance of life by the war god Ares. Now in the service of Ares and more powerful than ever, Astaroth is driven to retrieve Soul Edge and return it to his master no matter the cost. The gargantuan Astaroth practices the Galukas fighting style, which basically comes down to flattening people with his huge axe. He may not be the fastest warrior in the arena, but if one of those crushing attacks should land on you, then you'll know about it. Many of his attacks are unblockable, so defensive opponents are bound to get hurt sooner or later. The only hope of stopping this thing is to take advantage of his slow movement and awkward bulk.
Welcome to the...
After discovering the truth about her lineage, Isabella Valentine, better known as Ivy, went a little mad. In an effort to wipe out her evil heritage, she first tried to destroy her own creation, the Ivy Blade. But having failed in that, she now hopes to obliterate the source of the evil, Soul Edge itself. Ivy's exotic fighting style comes from the unrelated Link school of combat. This whip sword was always one of the more challenging weapons to master, but she retains almost her entire repertoire of moves, as well as gaining some stunning new techniques to make anyone think twice about challenging her.
Welcome. Fight!
When the drain of Soul Edge went cold, Mitsurugi Haishiro sought once more to find a means to stem the rise of gunpowder. However, with his travels leading him steadily east, he happened to stumble across a fragment of the shattered blade. But despite his determination to solve the mystery of the sword, he soon found himself caught up in rumors of war around the Ming frontier. Mitsurugi's Tenpin Kosai Ryo style has only grown stronger during his travels. He still has two different fighting stances, bringing a nice range of solid, versatile, offensive moves with plenty of reach and speed. This makes him a nicely balanced warrior and a definite challenge to outmaneuver.
You win! Welcome. Fight!
Taki originally hunted Soul Edge in an effort to destroy her own cursed sword, Nekimaru. But having failed to get to the blade in time, she learned to control the sword herself. Now she's faced with a further evil. Agents from her own ninja clan, following a master who's become obsessed with the fragments of Soul Edge.
Knockout! Fight!
Taki's ninja training comes from the Musobato Ryo school and features an arsenal of blindingly fast attacks. While these attacks may not be quite as devastating as they have been in the past, she does get to supplement her repertoire with a couple of vicious new throws, meaning that Taki is still not a lady to mess with.
Welcome. Battle 1. Fight!
After the destruction of Soul Edge, Voldo went back to his job at the Money Pit, where life was good for him. But when a visitor arrives with a mysterious metal fragment, his mind echoes with the power of the blade once more. Realizing that the sword still exists, he sets out to search for it yet again, following the final wish of his long-dead master. Voldo uses a fighting style all of his own, compensating for his lack of sight and hearing. Possibly more flexible than when we last saw him, his moves remain just as creepy as ever. And this lanky freak is more than ready to demonstrate just how lethal he can be with the blades attached to his hands.
welcome to
Enter the Matrix has been developed under the creative direction of the Matrix filmmakers Larry and Andy Wachowski, and is designed to be an integral part of the Matrix Reloaded storyline, weaving in and out of the movie to provide a more complete picture of the events unfolding there. As you'd expect from any good Matrix game, there's plenty of awesome gunplay, assisted with the classic, but perhaps slightly overused, bullet time effect, along with incredible kung fu sequences directed by Yung Wo Ping, the movie's fight scene choreographer. As you progress through the game, you'll have your chance to take part in the intense, gravity-defying action sequences against the sinister agents, as well as getting to take the helm of the Logos, the fastest hovercraft in the Zion fleet, participating in fantastic chase scenes packed full of amazing stunts. But as you know, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
No reception.
We need to get that key. See if you can call Sparks from the roof.
Me first apologize
For what?
for this.
Sparks, charge up the EMP. Here's one.
I read the game script and it was all this action, flipping out the car window, and I was like, how are they gonna shoot all of this? They're gonna shoot 2, 3, and this video game script. And then when I found out later there was gonna be a game, I thought that was cool. I thought that was really cool. I really did, because I love video games. Resident Evil is like my favorite. So when I found out there was going to be a video game and kind of the nature of it, I was like, that's hot. That is hot. So I was down for that for sure. Okay. I am. I'm really excited to be a video game character. I don't think there's any video games that really has any black females that I can recall at this particular point of time. But I think that's really exciting. I really do. For many different reasons. Many different reasons. I could go on and tell you why that is. But, and the fact that I enjoy playing video games. I think it'll be pretty cool playing myself. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get on the game and play myself and say, did I really walk like that? It'll be a bit surreal, but I think it'll be really exciting to actually sit down with that Sony PlayStation or Xbox or whatever and just take up those joysticks and go for it. Well, the game works as a parallel universe with the movies. So if when you go to see Matrix Reloaded, this is a metaphor, you're in the living room and you're seeing what's happening with Trinity and Neo. The game shows you what is happening in the bathroom or the billiard room of the same house at the same time. When you first enter the game, you enter an apprenticeship in the way that Neo enters an apprenticeship with Morpheus in the first movie. So there's a training tutorial aspect of the game. So even before you sit down to start actually doing the gameplay, what will happen is Sparks and myself and Niobe will train the player. So we'll actually get you to practice your kicks. We'll actually get you to practice to shoot guns. We'll actually get you to practice how to take on an agent or a sentinel. So you have a training, and you got to get through that first. So once you get a little level of mastery, then you enter the real game, and you can choose either Niobe or Ghost. Now, if you choose Niobe, you get her perspective. I'm in that game, obviously, but you'll get her perspective, and you'll use her strengths. For example, Niobe is the fastest driver in all of Matrix Land, and Ghost is the best gunner in all of Matrix Land. So you'll obviously go in with certain strengths and certain challenges, whichever character you choose.
And the boys had this very unique idea about the video game, that they wanted to make the video game directly related to the movie. So where there are some scenes in the movie that'll have interaction between characters and they'll stop in the movie, that scene will continue in the game. The same characters, the same location, and then that will continue and feature into the next part of the game. Now, you have to understand that those scenes are written by the boys, directed by the boys, cut by the boys. So they're actually directly involved in the making of the video game, which was their idea from the beginning, which has never been done before. Because the game is a martial arts game, it's a driving game, it's a shooting game, it's many different, has many different levels. As you get to these parts of the game, you connect with parts of the movie that give you more information. It's a completely new way of experiencing the video game concept, as well as incorporating it into the experience of the movie. Also because the Wachowski brothers did write the game themselves. They understand video gaming, so they wrote this game, and by having them write the game, it directly relates to the movie. It's not some software designer in San Diego writing a game, it's them writing the game. Jada's character, Anthony's character, does things you've never seen game characters do. There's different kinds of running, different kinds of walking. There's different ways of getting around things. When they shoot up a room, they actually shoot up the room. You don't just, it really has so many, there's so many permutations to everything. So if you play as Anthony, it's not the same game as you play as Jada. It's a different game, and different things can occur. It's everything for everybody.
Seen the surface.
It's nothing now but one big graveyard. Oh my God.
It's an army.
What is that thing?
Some kind of tunneling machine.
Oh no.
What?
Look where we are. What's 4 kilometers straight down?
Zion.
Go, go, go! Zion has to be warned.
How?
Someone has to get to a drop point.
What? Are you crazy? We can't broadcast now.
We have to.
I'll go.
There isn't much time.
I'll make it.
Beach Golf Links. David Faraday is on the course with us today and will be following the players. Let's send it down to the first tee.
It's good ball here, Billy. It should work out great.
You can't see me being a father?
No. Well, I can see you fathering children. I can see you raising any.
I would raise my own chalupas.
Well, we're definitely not having any kids together if you're going to be calling them chalupas.
It's probably your mother.
You have the worst timing ever.
Montgomery broken in? I'm Agent Flood with the Drug Enforcement Administration.
Everything's gotten so strange, Pop. The only people I trust are you and guys I grew up with.
What do we say to him?
We'll say nothing. He's going to hell for 7 years. What am I going to do, wish him luck? Champagne for my real friends, and real pain for my sham friends.
Can't believe you brought my student in here.
I mean, you haven't done anything wrong yet.
What do you mean yet?
She's the only girl I've ever kept fantasizing about after I slept with her. Is that normal? That's a pretty good kind of normal.
We haven't talked about this at all. You know, this is our last night.
No, it's not our last night. My last night. I watched him ruin his life. The last 10 years, I've been watching him get deeper and deeper. I look at these people around me and I'm thinking, these are my friends? Dude, I don't even know these people.
He doesn't trust me.
What reason does he have not to trust you? I got one idea, but I need a big favor from you. Now, if he runs, he's gone. He ain't coming home. If he pulls the trigger, they close the casket. They lock him away, he's gone. You'll never see him again.
Stay with me.
No, I gotta do one more little thing.
Years from now, you gather your family together, you tell them the whole story. Who you are, and where you come from. And then you ask them if they know how lucky they are to be there.
This will be the best night of my life. Best night of my life.
You have to understand, we thought Bobby was going to a school for the gifted.
Bobby is gifted. You should see what he can do. Have you tried not being a mutant?
Since the discovery of their existence, mutants have been regarded with fear, suspicion, often hatred.
Drop the knives and put your hands in the air.
I can't. Are they the next link in the evolutionary chain? Or simply a new species of humanity, fighting for their share of the world?
What do you need, William? Just your authorization for a special operation, Mr. President.
We've managed to gather evidence of a mutant training facility in upstate New York.
This facility is a school.
Sure it is. Nobody really knows how many even exist, or how to find them, except you. Who are you?
I keep feeling something terrible is about to happen.
I would never let anything happen to you.
It's about to get very cold in here.
I need you to read my mind. Sometimes the mind needs to discover things for itself.
They say you're the bad guy.
Is that what they said? What a talent you have left.
Most people will never know anything beyond what they see.
I have faith in you.
The next time you feel like showing off, don't.
I used to think you were one of a kind, Wolverine. I was wrong.
What you should learn, and learn it well. Nothing is what it seems.
His job was to recruit the best.
I would like to welcome you here to the CIA Special Training Facility.
Those of you who do graduate will be official cover operatives.
And then he found someone who was perfect.
You graduated top of your class at MIT. You're agile, athletic. I am recruiting you.
Would I have to kill anyone?
Would you like to?
He will train him.
Nintendo.
He will push him.
Reach the parking lot with an asset who intends to have sex with you.
You want us to pick up a girl?
5, actually.
Looking good?
Thanks.
He will challenge him.
Rule number 1. Do not get caught.
I love this part.
Go! Yes! I am a scary judge of talent.
And he will bring him into a secret world.
Welcome to CIA.
Where nothing is what it seems.
That's what you trained for. This is the job.
Layla?
She's a mole, James.
More mind games.
Well, no, school's out.
Now.
You trying to manipulate me?
Maybe.
It's working.
Why me? She trusts you, loves you, maybe? You're You're gonna take that love and you're gonna use it to find out who she's working for.
Your training, do you think it changes you?
Sure. Every person I meet is a possible mark.
If you are compromised, you're dead.
Al Pacino.
Move now.
Colin Farrell.
She knows I'm suspect.
Richard Monahan.
You think this is a game, James?
I think it's a test.
The only thing more dangerous.
I'm sorry, this is no test.
Everything is a test!
Than crossing the line.
I don't know why you turned. I don't care why you turned.
James, I didn't turn, you did!
Is trusting the man who took you there.
What the hell is going on, Brooke?
Everything is a test.
The Recruit.
Nothing is what it seems.
When the crime of the century brings two nations to the brink of war, the world must turn to two living legends.
I read about these guys. They're supposed to like yell at them, try to make faces at them, but they'll never move a muscle. Here, watch this. That is the biggest damn beaver I have ever seen.
Roy, stop it.
Hey, look, the queen! She's mooning us!
America's favorite heroes
Hello, ladies.
are together again.
My father's been killed. My sister followed the murderer to London.
Let me see if I can get the facts straight. You have a sister?
Introduce me.
If you break her heart, I break your legs.
That's fair.
The best in the West are going to show the old world some new tricks.
I call that one my Kung Pao chicken.
I want these men found. I can already see the headlines. Royal family eliminated.
Yeah. Come on! What in our history together makes you think I'm capable of something like that?
You think you're so cool with your karate?
You do that again, and you're a dead man. It was his idea.
Shanghai Nights.
I look like a fool. You have to open your mind to other cultures.
This country blows.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a game that really shows off what Xbox can do, then look no further. Otogi has to be one of the most impressive titles yet to appear on the console. Bursting with awesome graphics and fluid movement, not to mention the chance to destroy terrific quantities of scenery, it truly is a feast for the eyes. The name comes from the Japanese term for their traditional fairy tales, Otogi Banashi. Similar to the Brothers Grimm stories, these tales are centuries-old Japanese legends, providing a goldmine of spooky characters and unlikely heroes with which to populate this exotic setting. The sullen hero of the piece is Raiko. Once a Deathbringer for the Emperor, he lost favor when he refused to silence his own father. Nearly killed by the Emperor's guards, he was saved by a mysterious princess who restored him to a state somewhere between life and death. This state requires a constant supply of power in order to continue, and so the princess orders Raiko to atone for his wicked past by ridding the world of monsters, gaining the power he needs from them in the process. Armed with a powerful array of weapons and magic, Raiko gets to slaughter his way through various beautiful levels, stocked to the gills with hideous monsters. Every monster he silences earns him experience, which can be spent on more weapons, spells, and various talismans between stages. One of the biggest selling points of the game is the opportunity to vandalize just about all the scenery. A decent swing at your surroundings will bring just about anything crashing to the ground with a satisfying amount of devastation and noise. It certainly keeps things entertaining as you hack and slash your way through the less than cunning monster population. The drawback, however, and there's almost always a drawback, is the gameplay is almost completely repetitive. Find monster, splat monster, gather rewards, rinse and repeat. The constant need for energy keeps you moving along at a fair pace, and the ability to demolish everything in sight does a good job of hiding the lack of game depth. And since fighting monsters is about all there is to the actual challenge, it really is a shame that these critters aren't exactly the most cunning creatures in existence. Aesthetically speaking, Otogi is a real G. It also scores highly on technical excellence and haunting addictiveness. It's just unfortunate that the actual gameplay is just so uninspired.
Albion, a place of tranquility and peace. only the brave venture far. Afraid of the danger that lurks beneath. Civilization is under threat. Vast lands, tainted by an ancient evil. Evil so destructive that no one dares speak out.
You were born to take up the challenge. From the very beginning, your life will be one of choices. Live by the sword or by sheer cunning. Choose the path of honor or infamy. To become the most powerful of them all. Your face will be shaped by your past. The future, shaped by you.
Fable, the power to become a legend.
If you fancy some third-person tactical shooting on Xbox, then you could do far worse than check out Muzzle Flash from Victor Interactive. Providing a simple control system and plenty of maps, there's loads of fun to be had here, perforating players from around the world. Fundamentally a simple game at heart, Muzzle Flash sticks to the basic premise of locating the enemy, flushing him out, and then gunning him down. But with the opportunity to have 8 players competing on one map via the Xbox Live feature, this straightforward concept becomes much more entertaining. There are a wide variety of campaigns, taking in an entertaining range of settings, from deserts through forests to polar regions, with the snow levels looking particularly impressive. The controls are easy to learn, so even complete beginners should be able to get up to speed quickly. Simply use the left trigger to lock onto your target and A to shoot, X reloads and B lobs a grenade for when you really want to make an impression. Since the character movement is decidedly slow compared to some other shooters, the standard tactic of running around like a loon, blowing things up, won't cut it here. Instead, you'll need to make use of all the little hiding places and vantage points to devise a cunning strategy. This is something that works very well in games with many players, but when there are just 2 of you, it tends to devolve into a Mexican standoff quite quickly. But for exciting and cunning multiplayer entertainment, Muzzle Flash provides exceedingly well. And with access to Xbox Live, you should never find yourself short of an opponent or 7.
Only divine intervention can save you from defeat.
If a lesson in civility is what you seek, I can be your teacher.
Fighting games have always had a competitive market, with everyone having their own personal favourite among the pack. But now there's a fresh new contender bursting onto the scene. Enter Tao Feng, Fist of the Lotus. The name may smack of the Orient, but this one actually hails from Chicago and Studio Giganti, a development team spearheaded by John Tobias, one of the founding fathers of the Mortal Kombat series.
Can't you play harder?
fighting itself packs plenty of punches, supplying a wide range of different attacks and stances. Then there's the innovative limb damage system, complete with a charming little cutscene showing you the actual wound.
Your pain is my pleasure.
But for real carnage, you'll need the Chi powers. The Chi bar increases as you land successful blows, and when it's full, you're ready to unleash a spectacular assault upon your hapless opponent. These special powers are simple to activate and provide as much a visual treat as they are a lethal attack. Visually, there are no problems at all. The graphics are excellent, with good solid characters, fluid animation, and incredibly detailed venues.
Bet you've never partied with a real dragon.
The levels are larger than any other fighting game, with the possible exception of Dead or Alive 3. And with no time limit, there's plenty of time to roam about a bit and employ some better considered strategies. Tao Feng is debuting as an Xbox-only title, a brave decision perhaps, but it makes full use of the console's power to put PS2's Tekken 4 and Virtua Fighter 4 to shame. On the other hand, it still seems to lack the instinctiveness and satisfying battles that push Dead or Alive 3 and Soul Calibur 2 ahead of the pack. Still, everyone has their own favourites in this genre, and no amount of arguing is going to sway anyone. While Tao Feng may not bring anything truly radical to the mix, it looks great, plays nicely, and doesn't really possess any real faults. Qualities that are bound to earn it a decent following of its own.
Souls and Swords, eternally retold.
As you've no doubt become aware, Soul Calibur 2 is being launched on all three major consoles simultaneously. So what makes the Xbox version better than the rest? First up, you'll find the Xbox version of the game making full use of the console's impressive hardware specifications. So despite the fact that the game has been designed to be identical on each machine, the Xbox still manages to shine above the rest. Sadly though, there are no plans currently to make use of the internal hard drive or online capabilities. But since a round of Soul Calibur 2 can be decided in a couple of frames, online gaming might not be a very viable prospect here anyway. But the most talked about difference is the exclusive hidden character unique to each console. PS2 has Heihachi Mishima, hot from his usual misbehavior in the Tekken series, while GameCube enjoys a cameo from Link, the troublemaking star of the Zelda series. Meanwhile, we get to bask in the presence of Todd McFarlane's famous comic book character Spawn. I think we can safely say we got the best deal out of that lot.
許してやる気分じゃないな。